Hello and welcome to another video. Today we are going to look at the definition of feminism, or what should be the definition of feminism, and actually on how much of these feminists are actually radical, and how many of these hold the opinions of people, of hold the opinions that we, the skeptic community, like so much to debunk. Of course, not of course. Recently, there has been made a video against Armored Skeptic, or maybe it was not recent, with the Armored Skeptics video making rate. Well, whatever. There has been a video that said that we, us, of course, we dirty rationalists, or and the egalitarians, we, the very dirty skeptics, do only take a small portion of feminism and use it to paint all feminism very, very negatively. So today we are going to look at why that might seem like that, and why it is actually wrong, of course, because I'm a skeptic. I'm not gonna debunk myself. Like you don't do that. So we start by looking at the dictionary definition of feminism. This definition of feminism, of course, was written by another feminist, which is, luckily for us, not the same one you see mostly. It's the one on Wikipedia. Feminism is a range of political movements, ideologies, and social movements that share a common goal: to define, establish, and achieve politic, economic, personal, and social rights for women that are equal to those of men. This includes seeking to establish equal opportunities for women in education and employment. Well, unfortunately, this does not include seeking to establish equal opportunities for women in education and employment, thanks to feminists being able to define what makes them equal. So, unfortunately, you can have, of course, equal opportunity and an equal outcome. Unfortunately, most of these women being lazy and making social justice degrees, you know what type of people they are. Sitting on their chair, doing clickety clack on the keyboard. Yeah, you know what I mean. So yeah, most of them are those communist type feminists. The other communist type, that communist type that actually wouldn't actually like to be in feminism because they would have to work, so they want to make their own feminism that will actually make men work and women work less, of course. So next we are going to look at feminist.com, which of course, like feminist.com, that's, a fancy name. You don't get there just for being some fucking little bitch who realized yesterday that they want to become a feminist. You have to have a long history, and this should also be a very expensive address. So feminism.com. First, we are going to look at the first page of it, where there is, of course, a bunch of articles, and the first thing you see: women and men as allies. Of course, this is the most, I would say, retarded thing about feminism, that many feminists and most of the feminists, of course, of the mainstream at least, do not think men can be feminists. They can only be allies, which is, of course, a little bit stupid. Of course, it's not the foot of the issue, although it might kinda, add to it, but it is a problem. Then we are going to look at the feminist news. So, movement to bring feminism to high school classrooms. So there is the first myth, so-called, confirmed. Feminism does actually want to change people's opinions, forcefully, because in high school you are not supposed to learn what to think. You are supposed to learn how to find what to think. You are supposed to pick yourself, not just get get in the high school, go to your final exams, and suddenly, the fuck is this? Why am I supposed to write 10 reasons why feminism is important? I don't even think feminism is important. And get something like this, for fuck's sake. And I assure you, this is a thing on many universities. If you would like to know more about this feminism on high schools, I guess I can tell you to go watch Computing Forever, and he has a great mailing series where friends send him mails, mail on them being in these high schools, and it is really, and it really is quite an quite a horror to read. And of course, then you have Human Heroes. That's also thingy. That's not too toxic, but it still is toxic because like, oh, it's the same thing. When you have nationalism and all that shit. I am this this unimportant, for defining me demographic. So I have to find everybody else who is in this undefining demographic, so I can then feel better. Ha ha ha. Let's find some man heroes. Ha ha ha. Let's find some Czech heroes. Ha ha ha. Let's find some white heroes. Ha ha ha. I feel so good now. Ha ha ha. Like this is retarded. So yeah, of course, then campus rape. Of course, you have to show that 1 in 5 statistic, which even fucking Obama had to debunk because so many people believed it. Like, that's not how you feminist. That's how you retard. Get it? Nice. So then you have polls, showing that actually only 27 no on 50% of people are not a feminist, 5% are anti-feminist, and 12% are anti-opinion, no opinion on this. On men, on the men's side, and on the women's side 30% of women are not feminist, which is actually pretty weird because like, didn't we just read that men can be feminist? I will. Actually, no. Actually, well, I don't know. I think it's like half to half. This man can be feminist issue. On the mainstream websites. Or maybe this has been written before it became a thing when men were only allies. But it is at least on it is only at least on some percentage. Show that men can be feminists. So. Well, so you can see how most of the American population are not feminists. Well, at least when it comes to the men. Overall, just people in this country are not so much feminists, strong feminists at least. So in the end, you have people who are like, I am a feminist. Now, read my book. Now, watch my movie. Now, read my web. Like this kind of, I am a feminist, now you should do this, thank you. And most of these people, of course, being like me, millennials. So yeah, of course, then you have most people just saying that it is pretty much stupid. Well, it's not most people, but the nation is kind of split on this. Although media isn't. Everybody in media is like, oh, feminism, such a great thing, let's virtue signal more. Like, if you are telling me that feminism does not virtue signal, like, you can fuck off. Because even this is partially virtue signaling. Look at what the feminists do, like, that's like 100% virtue signaling. So, like, don't tell me that feminism is not at least partially about virtue signaling. Well, and then you have the types of feminists, which unfortunately there has not been a study on this actually done. I created a study yesterday, so I guess I will make a video on that when it comes out. And then there are, of course, the types of feminists. The mainstream feminism is very authoritarian, and it even borders with socialism sometimes, as I have shown in my last latest videos. It is very cultural, saying that every culture is the same, and our culture should be more like other cultures, and all cultures are equal, which actually is, and it of course encourages a lot of people and even man and human woman to not have the masculine behaviors, which of course to them is a toxic masculinity. At least most of them, some of them are not, but like that aggression is not bad, in some situations, and protectiveness is also not bad, like that's not a bad thing in some opinion and things. Most of the feminists also, are socialist because feminism is based on the idea of gender pay gap and the capitalist patriarchy. So like it's the same like when you had the oppressive patriarchy and the workers don't get shit on communism. So this is also the thing, and many of them also are radical feminists. But of course, radical feminism today is not as weird as it was before, because the whole feminist movement has kinda gotten radicalized thanks to the issues, the less radical issues being solved. So most of the feminists are not actually radical as you mean like those very crazy people radical, but like radical in the sense of we need all this now, we need to overthrow the system. Allah. Oh wait, no, that's not feminism. Again, I kind of meld these two together. They are just too similar to me. And of course the mainstream feminism is mostly a mix of these three things. It is very cultural, very socialist, and mostly radical. No, not like like most of them are radical, but most of the ideas are radical. Because all this is of course no. Well, I cannot say that it would be supported by any studies, because that would kind of be a lie. So you know like for now just believe me, and if you don't right now, you can go check the study a week later if you do actually think this is the truth. Now, there has been a feminist which actually created a breakup ladder to feminism, where she actually said what ideas she has been fed as a feminist, and what is the feminism that is so often, what is the feminism that is that is most often used at the gender studies classes. So feminism is right. She basically says that that she debunks these. So the first thing she talks about is that feminism is just about gender equality is a myth. But I cannot, of course, debunk that off the go. Just without showing any evidence. So we're going to go down first. So patriarchy theory. Of course, this is the most hated thing about feminism. It's idea that whole Western civilization is patriarchal and is not actually a meritocracy, but only a patriarchy. Because to them, patriarchy is not just man being stronger than a woman. Man having, but it's not the one thing. When you have this big king, and he is the king of all the people, everybody, and it is only because he is the man that he is this king. To them, it is man have men having it is, to them it is a conspiracy. It's a conspiracy to keep women down and take men up. This is basically what it is, mostly, of course. Some of them do not believe that this is true, but most of them do believe in the gender pay gap, and do believe in the discrimination of women, and do believe in the 1 in 5 rape statistic, and do believe in all the other bullshit, the man can get away with rape type, stuff. So patriarchy to most of them is just, this uh this conspiracy to oppress women. Then you have, of course, rape culture. I just, like, if you think that Western civilization is a rape culture, you can turn off this video. You can just go and turn off this video, because it's not going to give you anything. Because I don't know what happened to your brain. I don't know if it was a fracture in your skull or some sharp object penetrating it. Because if you watch this video and you believe in rape culture, I do not believe I can give you anything. Sorry. Like the rape culture, Western civilization rape culture. You know, I would believe it. I would have a slight chance of believing it. Slight chance to believe it. If there would not be the fucking lynch mobs where every time there is a rape. Every time there is a mainstream rape, fucking lynch mobs, fucking torches, fucking, I don't know, us, fucking pikes and fucking, I don't know, like those lynch mobs just, going like, oh, cut off his penis, kill him, that's to them, that's to them. We need no evidence. Believe the woman, believe the woman. Like, if rape culture is not believing in the idea that you are guilty until proven innocent, then I am a rape culture supporter. Unfortunately. Sorry. Well, the wage gap caused by sexism. This is a very mainstream belief that's actually mostly just propaganda, because look at it. Oh, wage gap. Conspiracy. Feminism. And you get through this, you get to all the other shit. So yeah, gender pay gap is basically a woman choosing other jobs than men, B, woman not being, too competitive on their salaries. But the most important reason that feminism is wrong on this is that you cannot pay man and woman different if they have the same experience and the same job. Because unfortunately, if you would do that, you would get your ass sued off, and your business demolished, and a lynch of feminists trying to kill you. So, good luck trying. If you really feel like being a sexist bitch, you can try it. But I would not, I would not encourage you to do it. I would not. And of course, then there being the whole thing, actually, the actual randomness in this, because in every statistic there is some, some bunch of random, because people are not born equal to their to other people in their gender and in their race. So for example, in the crime statistics for men and women, there is of course the randomness effect. In the crime statistics for the black people, there is a randomness, effect. So in every statistic there is this randomness effect. And if you can take this gender gap and put it to, I don't know, like 2 or 1%, and then you can apply this randomness effect, and it will disappear entirely. There is no gender gap. No. There is no gender pay gap, and there is no gender earnings gap. Well, that if you think about it, there is a gender earnings gap, but this earnings gap is completely stupid thanks to the randomness, effect. Sexism is the reason women do not choose to major in STEM fields. You know what? I do believe that sexism is the reason. I think that sexism is the reason women do not choose to major in STEM fields. because if feminism wouldn't be such a useful thing back in the day when when sexism was there, there would not be no problems in feminists going to women studies and not to STEM fields. So actually, this is true. Sexism is truly the reason women do not choose to major in STEM fields, and this is why this is one more thing in the article. Society marginalizes and dismisses voices against women. What? Voices, violence against women, of course. Yeah, yeah, that's of course true. Yeah, of course, it is true. It is true. But yeah, only when you look at the Muslim violence against women, and of course, then you have all the rapes and all that shit, against women. So, kind of sucks. Then of course, then there is then there is the nice picture of the guy who wore the shirt with the scantily clad woman on him, and when he landed the spacecraft on a comet, and all the slut walk, don't shave your don't shave, don't give a fuck what you wear, don't care about what you wear, and don't be in the don't be the stereotype. All these feminists that are of course completely against everybody regressive, all the right stuff they are against. They just come in and are like, "You, that shirt. We know you landed a spacecraft on the comet, but you are going to pay for that shirt. You will pay for it." And they charge him, and then he cries on camera, and it's all kind of lame. But of course, feminism is true. Feminism is true and just. Of course, all this fucking shit. So society marginalizes and dismisses violence against women. Of course, this is stupid. As I said before, you have the lynch mobs. Of course, then also there being the whole thing. Also one thing. Society does marginalize while does dismiss violence against women in one another case, and that is violence that have women against women. Because as I have shown in the other videos, the justice system is indeed bigoted uh, in the way of the woman. Women are privileged in the justice system, and of course, women are doing violence against women, which means that woman does some violence against another woman, and she gets smaller sentence. Thereby, you know, society dismisses violence against women. So yeah, that's also true. So it is again another fault in this article. Of course, gender is told to them not related to biological sex. Of course, you know, normally a woman and men have thanks to their hormones some set of you know traits that are prevalent in men, and also thanks to the structure of their brain. But unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, at least unfortunately for the evolution, at least it was, men don't have only male brains. They have male. There is you know, uh, there is a palette of different brains, and of course man can have, of course, a strongly male brain, or to some mediocre mediocrely feminine brain, and of course vice versa. So actually, uh, well, if you that it all is of course what you say gender is. If gender is just some set of things you do and and these things. If gender, what which is how you feel, which of course is the in feminism, then of course you can be any gender. But unfortunately, that is pretty stupid because unless your gender, works with your brain and things like that, it's not really very much of a gender. And I don't think that people of the different genders of different sexes, even if they are the same genders, should be thrown in the same teams on sports, or in the same bathrooms. So that's kind of stupid, according to me. And of course, there is the problem with the underaged being given this decision, and of course, thanks to it being a decision, it is problems. It is a problem. Then there is of course the blank slate, idea, which is of course prevalent against feminists, and yeah, very it is pretty stupid, of course, thanks to the whole thing which I said before, the thing of the the thing of the sorry, the thing about the oh, sorry, there is the thing about the hormones, actually um, actually having an effect on what you like and what you don't like. Video games and gamer culture are misogynistic. This I cannot I cannot say it is completely true. Gamer video games are according to them misogynistic. Wait, oh, yeah. Actually, both of these are according to them misogyny. Thanks to, of course, video games being to them, having these strong male heroes and these weak feminine female heroes with big tits. Yeah, that's clearly misogyny. No misandry in there. No. Actually, no. Of course, there's no misogyny. Neither is there misandry, but they could at least see their imagined misogyny, and on the other end see their imagined misandry. But of course, they never create misandry. They only create misogyny. Everybody knows that. Gamer culture. Well, gamer culture is of course very male thing, thanks to the gamers. Actually, before it used to be very hard to be a gamer, and it of course require and the games were made mostly by men, thanks to also being very hard to be a programmer and make these games. So unlike now, there are basically almost no females in there, other than the voice actors and graphic designers. So yeah, it is actually quite a male controlled field. It really was, and the culture and the history of it still impacts it a lot today. So yeah, that's that, and that's actually the end of the article. And as a last thing in this video, I am going to look at all of these and compare them to the thing that they, of course, the day that the people have told Dave from Computing Forever in their letters that they are teaching them in the what is it called, woman classes, and gender equality classes. So first, feminism is just about gender equality. Of course, it is the most learned myth to anybody. Patriarchy theory is not the most prevalent, but it is. It's I have to admit that I don't really believe that many people do think that patriarchy is a thing. But unfortunately, when I read those letters, I found out that 95% of these courses do have patriarchy in them. Teaching about patriarchy in them, which is kinda stupid. So we continue on. The rape culture, of course, that is, I guess, the thing that feminism today, you know, stands on. There being not any, no lawful things, because to them rape culture is something that is not governed by law, but mostly in us. So they cannot really get debunked on it that easily. So that's why they like it. The pay gap is, of course, learned in almost any of these social justice courses. Well, um, of course, STEM fields and this thing about social justice courses are learned in social justice courses. So if you go to women's studies instead of STEM fields, you get told that the reason why you went to women's studies is because you are oppressed. Realize? Much good, much reason. Society marginalizes and dismisses violence against women. That is, of course, also learned in these courses. Gender is not related to biological sex. It's also learned there, also taught there. Girls and boys do not have any preferences. The blank slate is, of course, not 100%. I would say it's about 90%. Of the people who teach it. And video games and gamer culture are misogynistic. That I do not believe is taught a lot. Thanks to most of these being gamers, most of the people in there being gamers. But I think it is, in some at least. So this is not prevalent, but it's also not important. So yeah, you can see that actually many of the things that we actually told, we and the community that is skeptical of SJWs are actually fair criticisms, not only of the individual people, but also the feminism as a whole, which of course can be, and you didn't actually have to watch this video, because you can learn all that just from seeing all these sites where these things are from, all the mainstream feminism sites and the mainstream feminism YouTubers, like for example Anita Sarkeesian and all these other feminist bullshitters who do actually have power and are mainstream. And the social justice courses in universities, which is where other feminists come from, are actually are actually changed a lot by their ideas. So actually, I do believe that most of feminists are how we describe them, thanks to them being taught this in school, and then them being told this by the mainstream media, sometimes even, and mainstream feminism media. So I guess that now if any of you did consider yourself feminists because of before this video, I hope that now you do not anymore, because of course that would be kinda dumb when I showed you all this. But that now you can see that actually most of the feminists are not reasonable, okay people who just want equality. Most of them are socialist, sometimes mostly cultural, Marxist people who mostly do not give a fuck about actual equality, or do want equality from their perceived inequalities, or of course just want equality of outcome. So this is what I actually wanted to show you. I hope you enjoyed this video. Give a thumbs up, subscribe if you enjoyed, and yeah, that's kinda it. So I guess I will see you next time. And yeah, as I said, subscribe, comment, and I hope the audio was actually better than last time. And I guess, yeah, I will see you.